I want to thank everybody for coming out to the Tournaments Are Us Top 100 Fall Showcase Super Camp here in Atlanta. We had over 50 kids that totally enjoyed themselves. National Collegiate Films came out, filmed the entire event. We will have player interviews and workout breakdowns and showcase games breakdown on their website. We want to thank everybody for coming out. Again, this was a great Tournaments Are Us event. CEO Ernesto Eiffel here. Check it out. Thank you. Go ahead and state your first and last name, grade, and what school you attend.
My name is Ruben Munoz. I'm in 8th grade and I'm homeschooled.
Homeschooled, okay. Now, Mr. Munoz, why did you start playing basketball and who introduced you to the game of basketball?
I like basketball. It's intense. It gets you working. I introduced one of my brothers since they played basketball for a year and I started.
Okay. Now, what position do you normally play, Ruben?
Point guard and shooting guard.
And why did you choose point guard and shooting guard?
I like dribbling, passing, and I like shooting.
Okay. Now, are you interested in playing high school and college basketball?
Yes.
So what are you doing to get to that goal?
What am I doing to get to the goal?
Yes, sir.
I work out. I play 4 hours a day, and I do push-ups all the day.
Okay. So, Ruben, what are your personal interests outside of playing basketball?
I like studying. I like playing soccer, and I like drawing.
Okay. So, where do you see yourself in about 5 years since you're in 8th grade?
I see myself being a trainer, and playing basketball, and being in college.
Correct answer, young man. College. That's the good answer. Now, I ask all young people this, Ruben. How do you feel about young players that don't work on their fundamentals as much, but they love to showboat and trash talk?
I tell them to work harder, and I tell them to not talk as much because they can't play as good.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you had to pick one NBA player that you would like to be like, who would that be?
Carmelo Anthony.
And why?
He shoots, and he's good at basketball.
Wow, okay. Now, if you had to give advice to a young basketball player, somebody that's about 6 years old, that's just starting out with basketball, what is the one thing you would tell them they need to do to be successful?
Practice each day and work on their shooting.
Okay, okay. Now, Ruben, what would you consider your strengths on the basketball court?
They're okay. I try my best.
And what would you consider your weakness that you have on the basketball court? You don't have any weaknesses?
I don't try not to.
Wow. Okay. Now I ask everybody this question, Ruben. You have the ball in your hand with 8 seconds left. You have the chance to score. You take the shot. As the buzzer goes off, you miss. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel bad, but I try to regain my strength, and I try harder each day.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Great answers there, Ruben. Great answers. That will conclude your interview process, young man. Great job. I'm down with it.
Check this out, man.
All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, state your first and last name, what grade you're in, and what school you're from.
No, not
My name is Christian Williams. I'm from Northwood Middle, and I'm 7th grade.
Okay. And Mr. Williams, why did you start playing basketball?
I felt like the game came to me when my parents played it. My mom played at UNLV, and my dad played at Lake Forest in Chicago. So.
Oh, your mom played at Nevada, Las Vegas?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wait, what year is she? You know?
I think it was around like 1990, like 1993.
Her mom might have been there with LJ now.
Oh yeah, she was. She was a freshman.
Yeah, she was there with us. UNLV. His mom went to UNLV, and she said she was there when they was dominating. Now, what position do you play, Mr. Williams?
Point guard and shooting guard.
And why do you choose that position?
I feel like I can get to the basket when I want to, and I can handle the ball pretty well.
Okay. Now, are you interested in playing collegiate basketball?
Yes, sir.
And what are you doing to work towards getting there?
I've been watching videos online about how to get my game better and like how to improve and like working on my defense and rebounding.
Okay. Now, what are your personal interests outside of basketball? Rather than basketball, what else do you like
I
to do?
also play football, and just football.
Okay. Now, where do you see yourself in about 5 or 6 years?
Well, I hope to be like a top player at North Gwinnett High School and like break some records and become the best player I could be.
I like that. Now, I ask a lot of young players this question right here. Now, a lot of players like yourself, Mr. Williams, they're young. They don't like to work on their fundamentals. They like to trash talk and showboat. How do you feel about that?
I feel like people who do that, they feel like they don't have to work anymore, that they're already better instead of like getting better and like trying to work on their game to improve to get to college and play in the NBA.
Okay. Now, if you had one NBA player to choose that you want to be like, who is that?
Kyrie Irving.
And why is that?
He distributes the ball well, he can score, and he makes his teammates better.
Okay. Now, if you had to give advice to a young basketball player, somebody his age, who wants to become as good as you are right now, what is the one thing you would tell him to do to get as good as you?
To be the best player that you can be and give 110% every time you come on the court.
What are your strengths, Christian, on the basketball court? What are your strengths?
I feel like I can handle the ball. Nobody really takes it from me, and I feel like that I can shoot the 3-ball very well.
Okay. Now, what are some of your weaknesses?
Sometimes I don't play the greatest defense, and sometimes I don't handle hustle back on defense.
Okay. Now, I ask everybody this question. You got the ball in your hand, 8 seconds left. You take the shot, but you miss, and your team ends up losing the game. How does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel like tough inside, but I realize that you can't make every single shot in the world, and that if it was 8 seconds left on the clock in a different game, you can still come back and bounce back and make that shot.
Great answer, Mr. Williams. Great answer. That is going to conclude your interview process, young man.
Thank you.
Great job. All right, whenever you're ready, go ahead and state your first and last name, what grade you're in, and what school you attend.
My name is Samuel Munoz. I'm in 10th grade, and I'm private school. I go to private school.
Homeschool, okay. Okay, Mr. Munoz, why did you start playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game of basketball?
I was just starting middle school, and I started playing a rec league. So I played this is my 3rd year playing basketball. So it's been a while, but it was my family. I have some friends that play overseas, and that introduced me to it, and I train with them now. So that's how I started.
Now, what position do you play?
First year I played center and small forward, but this year I'm just small forward and point guard.
And why did you choose that?
Because I think I have some pretty decent handling skills, and I have a jumper, and I can attack the rim pretty easily.
Okay. Now, are you interested in playing collegiately or?
You mean like pro basketball?
College basketball.
College.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what are you doing to work towards that goal?
Every day I'm putting in the work. Before school, I at least wake up 6 in the morning, do my basketball training, I do my schoolwork, and after I finish that, I go back to the gym, do some training or practice.
Wow, awesome. Now, Sam, what are your personal interests outside of the game of basketball?
Well, I like a lot. I enjoy doing a lot of computer science, and for the game of basketball, I mean, I enjoy it a lot because I'm studying sports medicine through college and high school. So I'm studying a lot for my muscles, recovery, all that. That's my schoolwork. So when I'm not training, I enjoy working on that.
Okay, that's cool. Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
College basketball. College basketball.
Now, young players like yourself, Mr. Munoz, I ask them this question all the time. How do you feel about young players who don't like to work on their fundamentals, but love to trash talk and showboat? How do you feel about that?
On the court?
Yes.
Well, see, a lot of times people will trash talk and showboating, but it all goes down to your game is what that speaks. So whenever you're trash talking or whenever you try to impress someone, it's more about your game that speaks, not what you're saying about it.
Yes, sir. You're 100% correct. Now, if you had to pick one NBA player that you want to emulate, who would that be?
I say Kobe Bryant. His work ethic is on point.
Now, if you had to give advice to a young basketball player like this young man right here who's young, what would the one thing you would tell him he needs to work on to be successful?
Well, first stay in school, work on your fundamentals, do a lot of your training, and just stay in school. Don't just stay to the fundamentals. Stick on your work ethic, and that's going to get you successful.
What are your strengths on the court, Sam?
I enjoy a lot of putting people into the rack. I like attacking the rim, and I bring the ball up the court, putting defenders out. That's what I enjoy doing.
Now, what would you consider one of your weaknesses?
A lot of times, it depends on game-winning shots. I take a lot of shots, but it all goes down to the last shot.
Okay, well, with that being said, with the last shot, Sam has the ball, 8 seconds left in the game. Sam takes the shot, all the time runs off the buzzer, and Sam misses the shot. How does that make you feel and why?
It's devastating, honestly. I put a lot of work into it, and that's what counts, the game winner, and whenever you put in all the work, that's just devastating when it comes down to the last straw, and that's how it goes, so.
Phenomenal job, sir. Phenomenal job, yeah. Okay. All right, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, whenever you're ready, state your first and last name, grade, and what school you attend.
Darius Rainey, 7th grade at Lakeside Middle.
Lakeside Middle, where is that at?
Yeah, Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta,
Whitehead.
Georgia. Now, Mr. Rainey, why did you start playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game?
My mama. And I play it because I have a good talent at it.
Now, what position do you normally play?
Point guard and shooting guard.
Okay, why did you choose those positions?
I can handle the ball and get it up the court.
Okay. Now, are you interested in playing college basketball, or?
My first choice would be football, but yes.
You're a football player, nothing wrong with that. Now, what are your personal goals or personal interests outside of basketball?
To go to college and get a good job.
What else do you like to do besides play basketball and football?
Party.
So where do you see yourself? You're in 7th grade, you said. So in 5 years, where do you see yourself?
UGA University.
Okay. Now, how do you feel about players that don't work on fundamentals, but they like to showboat and trash talk all the time?
It's not all about how you can dribble. You have to get the fundamentals down before you can start doing all that.
If you had to pick one NBA player, if you had to pick one NBA player as a role model, who would that be and why?
Kevin Durant.
And why?
Because he has great talent, he's good sportsmanship, he doesn't showboat too much, and great.
If you had to give a young basketball player advice on what they need to do to be successful, what's the one thing you would tell them to do?
Work hard and make good grades.
Okay. Now, what are your strengths on the basketball court?
Shooting and dribbling with my right hand,
And what are your weaknesses?
left hand.
Shooting and dribbling with your left. Now, I ask everybody the same question. So you got the ball, it's 10 seconds left. You take the shot, everybody's watching Darius, and you miss. Y'all lose the game. How does that make you feel?
Work harder for that shot in this game.
That's a very good answer, young man. You were completed with your interview process. Great answer on the last one, sir. State your first and last name, grade, and what school you go to. Fix your jersey just a little. There you go. You go right there. Right there, bro.
My first name is Mark Hildred. My last name is Powell. I go to school at Cartersville High School.
And what grade are you in?
9th grade.
Mr. Powell, why did you start playing the game of basketball?
The first time I played was because my older brother, and I just liked it ever since then.
Okay. Now, what position do you play?
Point guard.
And why did you choose to play point guard?
Because I feel like I'm a leader, so I help lead the team instead of scoring.
Okay. Now, are you interested in going to college and play basketball?
Yes, sir.
So what are you doing to work towards that?
Well, I get in the gym as much as I can and get up as much shots.
Okay. Now, what are your personal interests outside of basketball?
I just like hanging with friends and mainly talk about basketball when I'm doing it.
Now, you're in ninth grade, so where do you see yourself in about 5 years?
College.
Okay, so Mr. Powell, players like yourself, young players that don't work on their fundamentals, right? But love to showboat and trash talk. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like if you don't really you can talk as much as you want, but if you're not doing anything to improve, it doesn't really help.
There you go. There you go. Now, if you had to pick one NBA player that you want to be like, who would that be?
I probably want to be like Kobe Bryant.
And why?
Because I feel like he leads his team and like they know his role and they stick beside him.
If you had to give advice to a young basketball player, like young man right here, what is the one thing you would tell him he needs to work on to be successful in basketball?
Like, stick to your dreams and don't let anybody tell you you can't.
Good. I like that. I like that thought process. Now, Mr. Powell, what are your strengths on the basketball court?
Mainly just leading and helping players know what they need to do and getting people like easy shots.
Okay. And what are your weaknesses?
My weaknesses would probably be shooting and defense.
Well, you know what you got to work on. That's good. Now, Mr. Powell, if you had the ball in your hand and it was 10 seconds left, team down 1, and you took the shot. As you took the shot, the buzzer went off, and it hit the side of the rim, and you missed the shot. How would that make you feel, and why?
I mean, I would feel down, but because like I felt like I led the team down. I was still know there's more games. You can't make every shot.
That's definitely a great answer there, young man. Done with your interview part. There you go. All right, look into the camera. You can state your first and last name, grade, and what high school you went to.
I'm Gunnar Williams. I'm Gunnar Williams. I attend North Paulding High School, and I'm in the 10th grade.
Okay, Mr. Williams. Now, why did you start playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game?
My dad introduced me to the game at like a young age, and I just fell in love with it ever since.
Now, what position do you normally play, Gunnar?
Like the 1 and 2 guard.
Okay, and why did you choose 1 or 2 guard?
Because I like to facilitate the ball, and I like to get shots up and create my own shot.
Now, are you interested in playing collegiate sports as well?
Yes, sir. I want to play college basketball.
Now, what are you doing to work towards that?
I go to the gym about every morning at North Paulding and before school and a little bit after school and just get shots up on the gun.
Okay. Now, what are your personal goals, Gunnar, outside of the game of basketball? What do you like to do?
My goals.
Goals and interests.
I like to throw the football. I like to hang out with my friends and family. And I just want to have a successful career, like as a job or a player, just something like that.
So you're in 10th grade. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, Mr. Williams?
Playing college basketball.
Well, you know where you want to go?
Anywhere I can go.
Now, I ask a lot of young players this, Gunnar. Older players like myself. We see nowadays the younger generation, they don't work on their fundamentals as much, but they love to showboat and trash talk. How do you feel about that?
I like a little bit of both. I like to have the fundamentals, and I like to, trash talk a little bit.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's
nothing wrong with that at all, young brother. Now, if you had to pick one NBA player that you want to emulate your game after, who is that and why?
Stephen Curry.
And
He's
why?
got a great shot. He's a good team leader, and he knows like he's in control of the floor of all times.
I met the entire Golden State Warrior team last year when they played the Hawks.
Oh, really?
We was able to stay for the meet and greet after the game and hung out with Draymond Green, gave my kids his shoes off his feet. Mark
awesome.
Jackson, signed a handkerchief for my son, gave him a handkerchief. Curry, what's my other guard that they had? The shot
Klay Thompson.
Jared Jack.
Jared
No,
Jack.
Klay Thompson. He wasn't cool. He was kind of stuck up. Man. He didn't want to talk to nobody. David Lee was cool. The whole team was cool, except for Klay Thompson. I guess he was too big. Now, if you had to give advice to a young basketball player, somebody that's in the first grade, what is the one thing you would tell them to work on that they would need to work on to be successful going forward?
Just like work really hard, stay focused, listen to their coaches, and just dream big.
Now, Gunnar, what will you say are your strengths on the basketball court?
I think I got a good shot. I like to rely on my shot a lot. I can handle the ball. I'm smart with the ball. I don't make dumb turnovers. I play good defense. I'm quick, and I try and I hustle and I work really hard.
Now, what are some of your weaknesses?
I got a little bit of a weak left hand. I've been working on that. My left hand's a little bit weak, like laying the ball up, floaters. So I've just been working hard on that and then just getting faster.
Okay. Now, Gunnar, this is the scenario. 10 seconds left in the game, you have the ball in your hand, team down 1. You take the shot. As you take the shot off, the buzzer goes off. You miss the shot. How does that make you feel and why?
That makes me feel like devastated because I feel like I let my team down, but I'll just get it back next game and just work hard.
That's a great answer, young man. That'll conclude your interview this morning. Great job. All right, whenever you get ready, state your first and last name for the camera, what grade you're in, and what school you're in.
Desmond McClain. I'm a freshman at East Nashville Magnet School.
And where is that?
It's in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee. Now, Mr. McClain, why did you start playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game?
To be honest, it was my brother who introduced me to the game.
Okay.
And I started playing because, I fell in love with baseball at first, and then basketball just came around. So, my brother just, started working me out every day, and then I just started to love the game.
Nothing wrong with that. Now, what position do you play?
Shooting guard and point guard.
And why did you choose those positions?
I play shooting guard because I'm a good shooter. Because I can shoot it if it's clutch time or anything. And point guard is because I have a good IQ. And, I can handle the ball a little bit.
Okay. Now, you're a freshman in high school. Are you interested in playing college basketball?
Yes, sir.
And what are you doing to work to get to college basketball?
Staying focused, keeping my grades up, and staying in the gym.
Okay. Now, what are your personal interests, Mr. McClain, outside of the game of basketball? What else do you like to do?
Really, hang with friends. I like to chill on the weekends at home with my family.
Okay. So you're in 9th grade. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
The University of Florida.
Nothing wrong with that, young brother. Nothing wrong with that. Now, I ask all the young kids this. Young kids like yourself tend to not work on the fundamentals. Not saying you, but the younger generation tend not to work on fundamentals as much. They tend to like to showboat and trash talk, as you know. How do you feel about that?
If they showboat, that's just showing yourself. Well, that's just showing the person that's guarding you that, they're talking trash. Maybe I should get in the game too. If people talk trash to me, I'm coming right back at you. I'm talking trash too.
Now, if you had to pick one NBA player and someone to emulate your game after, who would that be and why?
Damian Lillard.
And why would that?
Because he's when it's clutch time, he's gonna score not every point, but he's gonna do what he got to do to get to the bucket.
Now, if you had to give advice to a new basketball player, a young kid, somebody's first grade, what would the one thing you would tell them they need to do to be successful? One thing.
Stay focused. Stay in the gym, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Now, what are your strengths, Mr. McClain, on the basketball court?
Dribbling, shooting, and I got lockdown defense.
Okay. And what are some of your weaknesses?
can't really say that I have a lot of weaknesses because.
Name one.
Well, one weakness is like
Left hand?
my right hand.
Oh, you left-handed?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, so
I'm really both, but like.
your right is not as strong as your left.
Yeah, basically.
Understandable. So, Desmond, 10 seconds left in the game. You got the ball in your hand. Team down 1. You're gonna go take the shot to win the game. Buzzer goes off after you shoot, and you miss the shot. How do you feel about that?
No, I feel like depressed. You know that I let my team down, because I mean, I'm a shooter. That's what I'm supposed to do is make shots. And if we lose the game, I'm gonna just come back even harder and make sure I don't miss that shot.
That's a very good answer, young man. You are concluded with your interview process, sir. Good job, young. You can play with the ball if you want to. Whenever you get yourself together, Mr. Hefner, go ahead and say your first and last name, what grade you're in, and what school you attend. Right here to the camera.
My name is Garrison Hefner. I'm in the 12th grade and I attend Cedar Shoals High School,
And where is Cedar Shoals High School?
Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia. Okay. And Mr. Hefner, why did you start playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game?
Well, my parents introduced me to the game when I was young, and I played around for a little bit, and I liked it. And when I got to high school, I decided to start playing for real.
Okay. Now, what position do you normally play, and why did you choose that position?
Center and power forward, because I'm the biggest person on the court.
Now, obviously, you're interested in playing collegiate basketball, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what are you doing to work towards that goal?
I'm working out with a personal trainer 2 times a week, and try to stay in shape, get ready for this basketball season.
There you go. And your father was letting me know something about your GPA.
I have a 3.68 GPA.
That's awesome. That is awesome, young man. That is awesome. What are your personal interests outside of basketball, guys?
I like, difficult question. I like playing in the marching band.
Okay.
And I'm in Boy Scouts too,
Okay. How long you been in Boy Scouts?
since 1st grade.
Oh wow.
I started out
Okay.
in Cub Scouts, worked my way up.
Oh wow. So you like past Eagles and all that.
Not quite.
No?
Still working on finishing.
Still working. Okay. So you're in 12th grade now. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself in a college with a college degree.
That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I've asked a lot of young players today this same question, Garrison, regarding fundamentals. A lot of young players in the young generation don't want to work on fundamentals of the game. They rather showboat and trash talk. How do you feel about that?
Fundamentals are very important to the game. I mean, you look at like Tim Duncan, he's been in the league 17 years now.
Yes, sir.
And the reason he's still able to perform at the level that he does is because he works on the fundamentals.
Simple fundamentals, footwork and simple fundamentals. That's exactly, you're 100% correct. So if you had to choose one NBA player as someone to emulate, who would that be?
I would say it would be Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan, because of his fundamentals and longevity.
Yeah.
I would understand that. Now, if you had to give advice to a youth basketball player that was up and coming, that was wanting to be in the position that you're in right now, what is the one thing you would tell them that they would need to continue to work on?
I would say they're fundamentals just because it's the basis of basketball. If you've got those down, you can play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely believe that. So, Garrison, what are some of your strengths on the basketball court?
Well, I'm long and able to block shots and contest shots very well. I can use my length on the offensive end, the post-up game too.
There you go. Now, what would you consider some of your weaknesses?
My weaknesses, strength in the upper body, and I don't know. My footwork is still not where I would like it to be. It's just something I got to work on.
Well, those are two things that you need to work, that you know that you need to work on: footwork and upper body strength. That's two things that you can work on, and they're not that hard. I've asked everyone this same question, Garrison, so I will ask you. This will be your final question of your interview process. Garrison has the ball. State championship. 10 seconds left on the game. Team down 1. Cedar Shoals High. Down 1. Garrison has the ball. Garrison takes the shot as the buzzer goes off and misses the shot. How does that make Mr. Hefner feel, and why?
I would be upset with myself because I feel like at some point during that game or in that last 10 seconds, there's something better I could have done that would have put us over the top.
Phenomenal answer, young man. That will conclude your interview, man. That will conclude your interview process today. You can play with that ball. You like to? All right, whenever you're comfortable, state your first and last name, grade, and what school you attend.
I'm Zachary Hall, 11th grade, Lakeside High School,
And that is from where?
Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta, Georgia. Mr. Hall, why did you start playing basketball and who introduced you to the game?
I started playing basketball because it just was fun, playing with my friends and stuff outside, and then my mom was the one that introduced it to me.
Okay. And what position do you normally play?
The two.
And why did you choose to play that?
I just like to shoot the ball. I don't like the pressure of bringing the ball at the court as a point guard. Yeah, I just chose that position.
Now, are you interested in playing collegiate basketball?
Yeah.
And what are you doing to work towards that?
Going to training camps, workouts by myself, and just working out with my school and stuff.
Now, what are your personal interests outside of playing basketball?
I want to go to college for culinary arts. I would like do culinary.
Oh, yeah? You want to cook?
Yeah.
What you know about that, man? My mom was a chef. Yeah, my mom was a chef, man, before she passed away, definitely. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Florida University.
Your brother was here earlier.
Yeah.
Guy looked just like you. Said the exact same thing. Said he wanted to go to the University of Florida. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, I ask all young players this. How do you feel about the youth of today? Their let me say, lack of wanting to work on fundamentals, but wanting to always showboat and trash talk. How do you feel about that?
They're not gonna get you any better. You're not gonna get better unless you work. So
Gotta
they can
work.
do all the talking they want.
Gotta work. Gotta work. Now, if you had to pick one NBA player that you wanted to emulate your game after, who would that be?
Stephen Curry.
Same thing your brother said. And why is that?
He just gets the crowd turned.
He does. He does. I had a chance to meet him and the whole Golden State team last year after a Hawks game. That meet and greet, met the whole team. Draymond Green, everybody gave my kids shoes. Jared Jack gave us shirts and all kinds of stuff. It was cool. Man, cool. So cool. So cool. Now, if you had to give advice to a young basketball player that's in first grade, second grade, trying to come up and get to where you're at right now, what is the one thing you would tell them to work on to get and be successful?
Just keep it crazy.
Definitely gotta have
Can't
the
do
grades.
nothing without your grades.
Can't do nothing without the grades, for real. Now, what are some of your strengths, Zach, on the court?
I like to shoot.
Okay. And what were some of your weaknesses? What would you say some of your weaknesses are?
Court vision, and I gotta work on my handles a little bit.
There you go. At least you know what you got to work on, so you can do that. Now, same question I asked your brother and I asked everybody else. Zach has the ball with 10 seconds left in the game. Playing for state championship with Lakeside High School. Zach takes the shot. Misses the shot as the buzzer goes off. Team loses the state championship. How does that make you feel, and what would you do about it?
That would hurt. I just work harder to get better, and hopefully I make it next time.
That's the perfect answer, young man. That'll be conclude your interview process. Great interview. There you go. Look good. Take a seat. You can play with that ball if you like. Just don't put it up in your face. All right. When you get comfortable, state your first, last name, grade, and school you attend.
Grade in school.
First and last name,
My name is Deontay the Great Griffin.
and what grade,
I'm in the 12th grade, and I go to Luella High School,
and where is that?
and that's in Locust Grove.
Locust Grove, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Mr. Griffith, why did you start playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game of basketball?
My father introduced me to the game of basketball, but not only my father, my own personal interest. I always liked the sports, the whole sports thing, and it stuck to me at a young age. So
Okay. Now, what position do you normally play?
all my life I've been point guard.
Okay. And
And
why have you been a point guard your whole
I've
life?
been point guard basically because my height, that's number one thing, and also because that's what fit my game.
Your
I was a
abilities.
facilitator,
There you
and
go.
that's what coach like.
Now, are you interested in playing college basketball?
Yes, sir. That's my ultimate goal.
And what are you doing to work towards that goal?
I play AAU basketball. I also work on my own. I stay after school most days, and I put in the most work because I know that's what's gonna get you there.
Okay. What AAU team did you play for?
I played for Atlanta Aztecs.
Atlanta Aztecs. Okay. Now, where do you see yourself in the next 4 years, 5 years?
In the next 4 years, I see myself either in college, my senior year, somewhere, or on to play somewhere professional.
I like that answer, young man. I like that answer. Nowadays, a lot of the young players are not spending time working on fundamentals. They're spending more time showboating, trash talking, and things of that nature. How do you feel about that?
I feel as if that takes away from the game of basketball because when you talk, when you showboat, when you talk, the game is more mental nowadays. So when you focus on talking, that take away from the fundamentals, and that's what coaches like to see. If you can handle the ball and the fundamental part of the game.
Okay. Now, if you had to pick one NBA player to emulate your game after, who would that be?
It'd have to be between Chris Paul or Derrick Rose.
And why would you choose either one of those?
Well, I'm from Chicago, so I've watched Derrick Rose all my life.
Okay.
And as I say about 5th, 6th grade, that's what I wanted to be like. So I kind of watched him and tried to emulate my game after him. And Chris Paul, he used to be my favorite player ever since I first started playing basketball. So I used to try to take moves he do and try to put that in my category of moves.
Okay. Now, what would you say, Deontay, are some of your strengths on the basketball court?
Some of my strengths, I pride myself on defense because I know defense keep you on the court. So I pride myself in stopping the best player and just being a floor general. Always making sure my team is in the right place at the right time. And I also like to pick and roll because I can find mismatches to get my team in the game. Other than me just doing what I do, I can also get my team in the game.
Now, what would you consider some of your weaknesses?
Some of my weaknesses, I know one thing I need to work on is my jump shot, and that can always improve. And that's something I've been really working on this summer and this upcoming season, my jump shot and just being more of a leader.
Okay. Now, this is a question I ask everybody. You play for Luella High School. You got the ball with 10 seconds left in the game. State championship. Senior year. You're down 1. You take the shot as the buzzer goes off. You miss the shot. How does that make you feel and why?
If I was to miss the shot, I would feel like I would be sad, not sad, but disappointed just because of my competitive nature. I don't like to lose, especially in a clutch moment like that. But at the end of the day, I'll feel as if I accomplished something just because I'm in the state championship. So even though I feel disappointed, I still feel like I accomplished something.
Phenomenal answer, man. That will conclude your interview process. Whatever with the ball, just don't put it up to your face. I need to see your pretty face. All right. Now, whenever you're ready, state your first and last name, what grade you in, and where you're from. Go for it.
Kiara Bromley, 4th in Tampa, Florida.
Okay. And Miss Bromley, why did you start playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game of basketball?
My dad, and it was fun for me at first.
Okay. At first. It's not fun anymore?
Oh, it is.
Now, what position do you normally play?
3.
Small forward? And why did you choose that position?
Because I like shooting and I like being on the wing to like catch the ball.
Okay. Now, are you interested in going further with your basketball career, playing high school and college basketball?
Yes.
So what are you doing to work towards that?
Going hard and push myself.
Okay. Now, what do you like to do outside of basketball?
Go to school and go on track.
Oh, you run track? Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, how do you feel about the young players of today not working on their fundamentals as much as they should, but always showboating and trash talking? How do you feel about that?
They should not do that, not trash talk, because sometimes you can hurt people's feelings about that, even if they're good or not, you can still hurt feelings.
Okay. Now, if you had one WNBA player or NBA player to say, this is who I want my game to be like, who would that be?
Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner, and why?
Because I like how tall she is, and I like that she could be on the post and she could shoot, so she could be either one of 3 or 4.
4 or 5, because you're
Yeah.
going to be that tall too. You're going to be. So if you had to give some advice to somebody that's younger than you, because you're only 9, so somebody that was 5 or 6 that started playing basketball, what one thing would you tell them to do so they could be successful that they need to do?
Push yourself.
Push yourself. I like that answer. I like it. So, Ms. Bromley, what are some of your strengths on the basketball court? What are you strong at?
Shooting threes and like making assists
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
post.
Okay. And what do you believe are some of your weaknesses?
Being a point guard under pressure.
Ah, so you got to work on your ball handling, so when the pressure's on, you can be able to be good. Okay, at least you know that. So when you know that, you can work on it. That's a good thing. So, Ms. Bromley, same thing I asked everybody else. AAU National Championship, and you got the ball in your hand. 10 seconds left. Your team is down 39-38. You take the shot. It's going towards the goal. The buzzer goes off, and you miss. How does that make you feel? And what would you do about it?
Sad, but I would still push myself to get the ball back so I can try to score. At least
great.
try.
That's a great answer, young lady. And that concludes your interview, so you can get you something to eat. Then I feel like to do.
Okay.
Make sure I got you here. Once you can look at the camera, everything will go straight here. When you're ready, state your first and last name, grade, and where you're from.
Kiara Barlow, 10th grade, and I'm from Ocala, Florida.
California?
Ocala, Florida.
Ocala, Florida. And what high school is that?
Westport.
Westport High School. Okay, well, Miss Barlow, why did you start playing basketball and who introduced you to the game?
It looked interesting, so I wanted to try it out. No one really pushed me to do it. Just seen people playing and decided I wanted to play.
Okay. Now, what position do you normally play?
Small forward.
And why did you pick small forward?
Well, my team's kind of small,
So you were one of the bigger ones? Now, you're in 10th grade this year. Are you interested in playing basketball collegiately?
Yes.
And what are you doing to work towards that goal?
I practice every day.
Okay.
Go outside after practice, work. Just
Okay. Now, Kiara, what are some of your personal interests outside of the game of basketball? What do you like to do?
I like to go shopping.
Girly thing. There you go. Shopping.
Almost shoe shopping.
Shoe shopping. Okay.
I like to play
Is that
football.
sneakers or open toe shoes?
No, I don't like show toes.
You like sneaker shopping?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that. So you're in 10th grade. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, in college, playing basketball
Okay.
and working towards physical therapy.
That's what you want to be, a physical therapist? My son does as well. That's very good profession there, young lady. Now, a lot of young players today, Miss Barlow, do not spend a lot of time working on fundamentals, but they love to showboat, trash talk. How do you feel about that?
I don't think people should do that because there's always someone better than you. So
Very
there's
true.
no point in talking trash. You should work to get better and let it show instead of talking.
There you go. Great answer. Great answer. Now, if you had to pick one NBA or WNBA player that you would like to emulate your game after, who would that be?
Skylar Diggins.
Skylar Diggins. Oh my God, she is so adorable.
She's a lefty like me.
She's a lefty. Yeah, she's a lefty. Now, that's why. Why would you like? Why Skylar? Tell me why about Skylar.
She just has real love for the game. She works, and I admire her passion for it.
Yes, she can play. She can play basketball. That's one girl that can play some ball. Now, if you had to give advice to a youth basketball player, somebody that's 6 years old, what would you tell them is the one thing they need to work on to be successful at basketball?
Footwork.
Footwork. I like that. Definitely. Now, what are some of your strengths on the court?
I would say shooting and defense.
And what are some of your weaknesses?
My handles aren't up.
At least you know you're doing what you gotta work on.
I need to work on
You
them.
gotta work on your handles. You know that's a big thing. Your confidence comes from your ability to dribble.
Yeah.
Definitely. So the more you have ability to handle that ball, the more confident you are in your basketball game. Now, I've asked everybody the same thing. It is the state championship, and you have the ball with 8 seconds left for Westport High School. Your team is down 41-40. You take the shot. As the buzzer goes off, the shot bangs off the rim. You missed the shot. How does that make you feel, and why?
I would feel kind of down about it, but I wouldn't let it get to me where it affects throughout. I just tell everybody to keep their head up. We'll get it next time.
Great positive answer, Ms. Barlow. That will conclude your interview. You can go continue. How are you?
Good.
Miss Riley? Janae? Look at the
John
camera. Oh, I'm sorry, John Nay. When you look at the camera, state your first and last name, grade, and what school you are from.
My name is John A. Riley, and I go to Simmons Elementary, and I'm in 5th grade, and I'm 11 years old, and I'm turning 12 in November 11th.
And who introduced you to basketball?
Well, I played at the YMCA, and Coach Ben, he scouted me, and he wanted me on my team, so I started off at Lady Canes, and then our team, we finished our season, and then I went to Florida Future, and that's what.
Wow. Now, what position do you normally play?
Shooting guard.
And why did you choose shooting guard?
Because I feel like I should work on my dribbling more. Because if you're a point guard, you have to dribble a lot, and I should work on my dribbling. I did play point guard, but then I asked coach, can I move down to shooting guard, because I felt like I should work on my dribbling before I go back to point guard, because I was a little off.
Now, are you interested in playing high school basketball?
Yes.
Now, what are you doing to work towards becoming a high school basketball player? Do you work out?
Yeah, I do work out. I work out a lot, and I go to the basketball court with my friends at Town Hall in Riverview, and it's an indoor basketball court. And usually they practice. They don't shoot around. They just help me out. They just help me out. We don't play games. We just do drills left hand and right hand layups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really play games. They just help me out.
Okay. Now, what are some of your personal interests outside of basketball? What do you like to do besides basketball?
I really don't do much for basketball.
Nothing? No video games? No shopping? No nothing? Wow.
But come home, do homework.
And play basketball. Nothing wrong with that, young lady. Nothing wrong with that. Now, how do you feel about young players of today that don't like to work on the fundamentals of the basketball, but love to showboat and trash talk all the time? How do you feel about that?
I don't think that's a good basketball player. You should have fundamentals. You should have good sportsmanship. If you don't have good sportsmanship, no one's gonna want you in college.
That's right.
No one's gonna want you.
That's right.
And you should work on it.
That's right, young lady. Now, if you had one NBA player or WNBA player that you say you want your game to be like, who would that be?
LeBron James.
And why?
Because he is aggressive, and he's when he knocks people down, he helps them up and stuff. And he's a good basketball player, and he works a lot on his game.
Yeah, he does. He does. Now, if you had to give advice to a young basketball player, somebody that was 6 or 7 years old, what would the one thing you would tell them to work on to become successful?
I will tell them to, I really don't know.
To work on dribbling, shooting, defense, offense?
I'll tell them to work on the defense, because I think defense is the whole part of basketball. I love
That's
defense.
what it is, dog.
Because if you don't have defense, you can't score.
Yeah. And if you got defense, you can turn it into offense all day long. Good job.
Defense is offense.
Now, what are some of your strengths on the basketball court, Ms. Riley?
Defense. That's what my team uses me for defense mostly, and defense, and that's all. I'm really good at defense.
And what would you consider some of your weaknesses?
Offense,
Offense? Gotta work on that now.
dribbling.
Okay, that's where your confidence is gonna come from. So you're still what, 10?
I'm 11.
11 now? Yeah, so continue to work on that daily. You're
Okay.
dribbling, left hand and right hand, as much as you can.
Left hand.
Now, this is the scenario that I've asked everybody today, and I want you to tell me how you're gonna feel after this. You have the ball with 10 seconds left in the game. Championship game of a tournament, AAU tournament. You take the shot. As you take the shot, the buzzer goes off. You miss the shot. How does that make you feel, and what are you gonna do about it?
It happened to me before, but it made me feel like I let my team down
Okay.
because I should have made the shot. Like it was my I felt like it was my fault for letting us lose, and it happened in nationals. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I really felt like it was my fault. But my team, they didn't really care because like it happened to a lot of people. It happened to a couple people. So it felt like I let my team down, and I should have made the shot. And at the same time, I feel like I really let my team down. And
So what would you do going forward? What are you going to do so the
just-
next time that doesn't
I
happen?
practice on my shooting because because it was like a close shot, and like I missed it. And like I practiced on my like close range shots, and like what's it called, my
3-point shooter, 3-point shot, long range.
I'm not that good at 3-point,
Well, you'll get better. That's why you keep working at it.
and I'm working on my arc.
There you go. Well, congratulations. Great job. You done phenomenal. You can play with that basketball during your interview. If you would like, make sure you look here right directly into the camera. You're straight. Everything's good to go. You know, look good. Look good. When you're ready and comfortable, please state your first and last name, grade, and school for the camera.
I'm India Richardson. I'm in 9th grade and I go to Brew Tech Magnet High School.
And where is that?
That's in Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama. Now, Miss Richardson, why did you start playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game?
When I was like, I think around 2 years old, my dad, he bought me like a little tiny basketball goal. And he gave me a ball and I started dribbling. And then from there,
Wow.
I've just been doing it ever since.
Now, what position do you normally play?
I play the shooting guard, but sometimes I play the post too.
Okay.
So I do both and I can do all the positions.
Now, why do you say you can play multiple positions?
Because I've been trained to do all positions. Like in AAU, I'll do post. For school ball, I'll do shooting guard. For 3-on-3 at the YMCA, I'll do point guard. I can do all of it.
Okay. Now, are you interested in going to college and play basketball?
Yes.
And what are you doing to work towards that?
I've been working out a lot, and then I go to a lot of showcases like this one.
Yes.
And I play AAU, and that's big exposure.
Okay. Okay. Now, what are your personal interests outside of basketball? What else do you like to do?
I like to draw. And
Oh,
listen,
an artiste.
Yeah,
Okay.
and listen to music, and I like to hang out with my friends a lot. I like to play volleyball and stuff.
Nothing
like
wrong with that. So you're in 9th grade now, Miss Richardson. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Hopefully playing college basketball D1.
Okay, D1. You know where you want to play?
Somewhere up north.
Okay.
Towards like Duke or Georgia State University or Washington State, anything like that.
Okay. Now, a lot of young players nowadays do not like to work on fundamentals, but they love to showboat and trash talk. How do you feel about that?
I think they don't need to play basketball because that's not what basketball is about. It's about playing with your team, having a good time, and if you like talk trash and showboat, then you need to go play football or something.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, if you had one NBA player or WNBA player that you would say you want to emulate your game after, who would that be?
Probably a mixture of like LeBron James and Skylar Diggins.
Wow. So why would you say that?
Because I like LeBron James because like he's powerful and like I see myself as a big powerful player.
Okay.
And he can like shoot as well and I can shoot. And I like Skylar because she's like finesse and she's real smooth on the court.
Very smooth, very smooth. So if you had to give advice to a young basketball player, somebody that's in first grade, just coming up, trying to get to where you are now, what is the one thing you would tell them that they need to work on to be successful?
Do not give up. Like, you got to do it when you don't want to do it. Because you got to get through the hard days to get to the good days.
That's real talk.
So do not give up.
That's real talk, young lady. That is real talk. Now, what are your strengths on the basketball court, Ms. Richardson?
I'm a big team player.
Okay.
Like I'll give if somebody's in the post, I'll give them the ball instead of me shooting. If
Okay.
I'm wide open shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say, Indy, are some of your weaknesses?
I get my effort is probably like a 60 or 70.
Uh-huh.
I would like to increase that, and I would want to be more aggressive on the court because like ever since I learned how to shoot, I haven't really been going to the hole as much as I used to. I like to get that back a lot.
Yes, my son went through the same
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I'm going through right now.
Same exact thing. You're 100% correct. Now, this is a question I ask everybody. You go to Brubaker Magnet School.
Yes, sir.
You're playing for the Alabama State Championship, and it's 10 seconds left on the clock. You have the ball in your hand, all right? Your team tells you to shoot the ball because you're open, and you shoot, and you miss the shot. How does that make you feel, and what are you going to do about the way you feel?
I feel like I let my team down, but it's not mostly my fault because like what else did the team do? Like it's not completely my fault we lost. Like at the beginning of the game, we should have. If we would have made 5 more free throws, then we would have been
in
up.
that position.
So I wouldn't. I feel like I shouldn't have to be in that position, but if I was, I would feel like
You want me to hold this? Yeah, you can play with that all you want to. Look right here into the camera. As soon as you're comfortable, state your first and last name, grade, and where you're from.
All right, I'm Warren Albert. I'm from Athens, Georgia, and I'm in the 11th grade, and I'm 16 years old.
All righty. And you go to Prince Avenue Christian School?
Yes, sir, I do.
Now, why did you start playing basketball, Mr. Albert?
I started playing basketball because I just enjoy the sport. I like the pace of it. I like the speed of the game. And I guess it gives you a sense of adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
That's also really fun.
Who introduced you to the game?
I would say my dad and my mom. So.
Now, what position do you normally play?
I usually play small forward.
And why did you choose small forward?
Well, it just probably fit me better because I can be able to handle the ball, but I can also post up, so I can mix how I play against other players, which is very good and it's helpful.
Now, you're in the 11th grade, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, are you interested in playing collegiate basketball?
Yes, sir.
So what are you doing to work towards that goal?
I train with one of my trainers. His name is Carlos Strong. He's
Yes.
a former professional basketball player.
You know Mr. Strong well.
Yes, and I've been training with him. I trained with him last year, and I've been training with him this off season. So.
Okay, that's what's up. That is what's up. What are your personal interests outside of basketball?
My personal interest, I like playing soccer. It's kind of fun. It's similar to basketball. It's a team-oriented. It's fast-paced. A lot of skill and court vision is involved, like field vision. And I like to just, I guess, go outside and just enjoy nature. Go different places, like travel.
So you're in 11th grade. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
5 years. I would like to play collegiate basketball if I get the opportunity. But if not, I would like to go into either orthopedic surgery.
Okay.
Or I'd like to do international affairs and government.
Okay. Now, how do you feel about young players of today that, don't like to work on fundamentals, but they love to showboat and trash talk? How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's not a good thing because your fundamentals is where you're going to be looking at. That's where you start. So if your fundamentals aren't good, then you're not going to get better. You're going to think you're getting better, but you're really not.